I like how.
Well, I need to be caffeinated for this podcast so that way I can talk. Okay.
All I'm saying is, I will not be. We will not be using the headsets now. I'm just gonna let you know that.
Okay. Is that because you
You
couldn't get the headsets to work?
with it was part of the thing causing interference. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah, put that down right now.
So now I can listen to you with my real ears.
Your real ears, indeed.
Yeah.
Not those artificial
Yeah. These.
trying to replace them.
Yeah. These are my really real ears that are only real because I'm real. I am. I am.
Wait, what is that whole entire thing? It's like I think there, so I am, or something.
Think, therefore I am.
Therefore, I
It
am.
means that like there's a lot of things that you can't be certain about, but the thing that you can be certain about is that think, therefore you exist.
All right, guys. I want to say that was a pretty compelling little speech there that he gave.
Well, because like
And
I
I
mean,
just want to say thank you for joining us on the Highly Caffeinated Podcast. This is how I'm going to make the intro. It's just going to be your little philosophical rant, and we're going straight into
all
it.
right. So basically, the whole point of I think, therefore I am, is that when you really start questioning things, you can pretty much come up with a lot of possible theories. Like, well, what if nobody around me actually exists? What if everyone around me is actually just robots? And like the reason why I don't know they're robots is because I haven't tried to like stab one. And like,
Does that include animals as well, or just humans?
well, anyone who you think is around you like right now, like they could just not be real. They could just be like, I mean, there's the Matrix thing that we live in a simulation. So there's a lot of things that can't be certain that are real. But one thing that you can be certain of is that you are thinking right now. And in order to think, you have to exist. And so I think, therefore I am.
But what if I'm just a really intelligent AI, Jason?
Then you still exist.
So something that can have its own cognitive thoughts is the definition of something that exists as a living thing.
I think that we don't need to think about it as living, but we do need to understand that it does exist.
It's conscious in some way.
Well, we don't even have to grant it the privileges of being conscious, right? Something can be very complex, and like let's say we come up with an algorithm or some kind of AI, right? I think that AI is kind of like a very we don't fully understand what the definition of AI is because it's a very broad term. All it means is artificial intelligence. So when you think about okay, well, what does it mean to have an AI? Well, right now what that means is it is having a computer that can do a lot of like multiple simulations of like something and figure out like roughly what's the best way to do that one thing given the tools that it has, right? And so it'll run through multiple different simulations and try to figure out like the best way to do it. And that's how our AI works now. But that's not that's assuming that that's how intelligent works. Like our intelligence doesn't work that way. Like our intelligence doesn't revolve around us like trying things millions of times and trying to figure out the best way.
Well, it's more like we actually physically try things instead of just creating simulations in our head.
Well, the thing is that we have intuition. We can look at a problem and based off of like our past experiences, we can use that and apply it creatively to that given problem, so we can come up with solutions given this new problem. For an AI to do that, it would have to be given a whole new set of parameters. It would have to run through this test. Like, and sure, it could probably, if you want it to, like, let's say automate something, then like AI is going to be really, really good. Like our current state of AI is going to be really good for that. But in terms of doing something new, it's nowhere near getting to like the point of making something new. Um and so when we talk about, well, does AI exist as like a conscious being? Well, I mean, if like the way that we have AI now, like I don't think that there is reason to believe that we should consider like what that is as conscious, because I mean all it's doing is just running through a bunch of like patterns and trying to figure out like, and it can be creative too. Like there's some there's this one AI that was kind of like leaked. It was called Open AI, and basically, I forget why what the exact story is. If you want to pull it up, actually, so that way I can get some better context on this. Um, basically, from what I understand of the Open AI story is that there's this AI that would be able to scour the internet uh, for information about any topic that you just started writing about, and it would continue to write like just paragraphs and paragraphs of whatever the topic was talking about. And that is a form of AI that like is very, very powerful, like because that can create tons and tons of content. And if you think of like combining that with some of the other content, with some of the other technology that we have, like being able to put somebody's face and like make them say anything, you can just think about like just having some bootleg channels that produce like millions of hours of content with famous people's faces on them saying like cohesive sentences, like basically for free because of this
I
AI.
mean, there's gonna be, I bet you, just like there's this one anime character chick that's like she's a YouTuber. I forgot her name, but it's a YouTuber, but it's almost like one of those I forget what they're called, the little like Hatsune Miku and all them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little virtual celebrity kind of things. But there's one of those for YouTube. Like it's a anime girl that has her own YouTube channel, kind of thing. And it's like supposed to just be this computer program thing. But I'm like, once AI gets smart enough, there will be like a lot of with the added, the whole entire being able to recreate somebody's face and what they say and all that stuff. It's like, well, what's them from start creating like an actual, almost seeming completely like human person, making them a YouTube channel, and then this false persona, and then just like promoting shit through them.
So with AI, there comes a lot of uh, societal problems. Like, regardless of what form AI comes in, it's gonna cause some problems. Because even though it solves a lot of problems, technology always causes a lot of problems.
So you
And
think there's gonna be societal pushback?
I don't think that necessarily there's going to be societal pushback, but more so that even if there's not, like, even if there isn't any societal pushback, that there's going to be some major problems, just how people like are going to interact with each other. Um, so first you have to think about, okay, let's go back to what happens when you can produce as much content, like what happens when you can produce as much content as you want, right? And so that's what you brought up, right? The AI text generator. um Basically this is a it's they're calling they call it a dangerous tool because it's kind of scary when you think about its potential, right? So it has the ability to just take up all these different like little pieces of information on the internet and write them down in cohesive sentences about whatever topic you want. you wanted to talk
So
about.
now the AIs are going to be making fake news.
AI is going to be making fake news. AI is going to be making all the news. Like everything on the internet. Well, maybe maybe not everything, but maybe like 90% of the things that are on the internet might end up just becoming just randomly generated stuff from AI. And it's going to be, I mean, when you can use this to make revenue, like why not, right? Why not use this as a source to just pump out tons and tons of content that people are just gonna look at and they're gonna be like, okay, well this is believable enough to me that like a person wrote this. It's what I want, right? I can read this and enjoy it and like have entertainment value out of it. Sure, it was made by an AI.
I don't
But
think any AI can replace our top content creators like Logan Paul or
oh my god.
Jake Paul, the whatever KSI.
Well, and that just goes to show we like to pretend we're this like highly like evolved species that has big brain and is um more advanced than we actually are. We're a bunch of monkeys, right? We haven't gotten to the point that we are because we've been like smart from the very beginning, and we just broke the we just broke the system by being super smart. No, we are monkeys that have just been chipping away at like the game for a long time, and we eventually got to here. The first game was trying to get more intelligence, because as soon as you unlock the intelligence, then you start to be able to manipulate the area around you.
I thought the first one was setting shit on fire.
Well, you have to have an intelligence to be able to.
Pre-Neolithic period. Gotcha.
Um,
We're talking more about the what is the first thing with all the fish?
no, I'm talking about apes. All right, I'm talking about the
Cambrian
evolution.
explosion. There we go. So we went from multicellular life
My God,
to the Cambrian
we're
explosion,
not talking about that.
and then the intelligence. No, we got to start from the beginning.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
Anyways,
Okay, so
the monkeys have gotten smarter. They got access to tools. Then they got access to language. Then they got access to agriculture. Then they got access to
why are you saying it's so weird?
They got these things.
You developed like a
incrementally.
weird accent
They
when you
got
were
these
saying
things
that.
incrementally. They didn't just get them like right away. We are chipping away at this stuff, and we're still just monkeys. No.
Not like Joe Rogan. I'm calling you out.
I'm not trying to be.
You disagree with a lot of what he says, don't you? You monkey.
I don't know. I just think that we're. I just think.
I think that I'm pretty big brain. I'm just gonna put that out there.
I don't know. Like we we're not a species that like has gotten everything because we're just smart. We had to brute force our way through a lot of situations. I mean, hell, there's a reason why there's only one type of human.
The natural selections.
Well, yeah, I mean, like think about the other like sapiens that have lived, yeah, and died out. Like Neanderthals.
So you're telling me out of all the sapiens, the Homo ones won?
Yeah.
That's truly right there what Pride Month is all about.
I don't even think we're in Pride Month.
We're not in Pride Month anymore. So speaking of Neanderthals and monkey brain, you want to raid Area 51?
See, and that's exactly why like, America would be best place to go to if you were an alien.
That was from a previous conversation. That's not going to be on this. Yeah. So, yeah.
now they're never gonna know why America is the best
I
place
am
to get.
so glad that I am gonna be able to cut out your America is
So
the best place for
the reason why America is the best place for aliens to
aliens to
go
go
to.
to. Yes. Look, I'm telling you, first off, like,
Where else would they go?
okay, but you're assuming that like these aliens came during a time that like America was like actually made. What if we just dug these things up from like a long fucking time ago?
Well, that doesn't. We did dig one up from a long time ago. That's what part of Bob Lazar's story is that one of his one of the relics that they picked up was was really old, and but he did say that there was the other ones were newer, and so that's kind of the story behind it. That they,
I mean, if anything's made out of like alien fucking material, I'm pretty sure it can look new even if it was taken out of the ground. Put some fucking Windex on it. Squirt, squirt.
yeah.
Where's new?
Well, there was the reason why Bob Lazar's story is credible is because he wasn't just a person who, like a random soldier who worked there. He was a scientist who worked on the projects.
Yeah,
So
but he's not credible. He's got a story that makes somewhat sense if you believe that he actually worked with this stuff to begin with. He has no evidence that he actually worked with this stuff, so
Well, yeah, because it's the government we're talking about, and the fact that they, okay, the so the only other probability is that he never worked at all for the government, right?
or that he worked with the government and he's just full of shit.
And passed lie detector tests and has made his life like literally shittier because of doing it. And
Lie detector tests have been proven not to be always accurate. There's
yeah, like he
What I'm trying.
the thing about Bob Lazar is that he's still saying the truth, even though he knows that it just makes his life worse.
But what if he's just making it all up? What if his life's not that bad? He's making all this stuff up, and I mean, I'm pretty sure you can come up with a convincing story like that if you tried.
I mean,
Sit
what would
down.
be the point? Like, to get everyone riled up about aliens?
I don't know, just to be a troll. You can be a troll
I don't know. Like,
to make
feel-
money. To make
I feel like you can be a troll for a little bit, but be a troll your entire life and kind of like like be stalked your entire life. Because I mean, it's not fun being the guy who is the dude who used to work on alien parts, and people think that you're full of shit, so they go up to your house and they they like try to mess with you and stuff. He's gotten death threats, like, just because of his story. Like, aliens are a pretty big deal. I know that a lot of people think about aliens and they're just like, well, I mean, there's aliens. Like, people wouldn't believe that aliens exist anyways, even if you told them. But there are some people whose lives would completely shatter if aliens existed.
Christians.
I mean, the Amish. Like the Amish,
Why?
for example. Like,
Why the Amish?
imagine the Amish if aliens.
I don't know what Amish people believe in.
I mean, okay, fine, Christians. You can use Christians. I mean, I was just using Amish as like some as like a really religion tied um
Massage.
culture that lives, back in time and isn't like, with the memes and stuff.
What?
I mean, like the Amish don't use like phones.
Oh yeah, they wouldn't know what a meme is.
Yeah, so I feel like people might be a little bit more desensitized to the idea of aliens because of the internet, which is why like a lot of people are like, oh, like aliens is such a cool idea, but don't understand exactly how big of a deal it is if aliens were actually real. Like that wouldn't just be something that we would just meme about for a month and then like forget about it. This would be a world-changing event.
I think you underestimate how the internet works nowadays. you you really think if we discover aliens it's gonna be that big? No, they'll meme about it for a month and then they'll move on. Something else will come out. Ricardo
It's everything.
version 2.
Everything is going to revolve around aliens after aliens are discovered.
Bro, we'll just move on with our lives.
Are you telling me that like if humanity
Why would we worry about aliens if we don't have the tech to get to where they're at?
but we have the tech that they had that is more advanced than ours that
Yeah,
could
but how
lead us
are we gonna learn how to pilot an alien ship?
where humanity, how were we supposed to get to the moon? How were we supposed to do
You're getting really inspirational right now.
how are we supposed to do anything that we have done?
To be fair, Bob Lazar did say that they, if his story is true, lots of salt, lots of grains of salt on that one. But he did say that they piloted the ships at some point, apparently. So apparently, we already know how to pilot the ships if that is true.
And I'm not saying that like I wholeheartedly believe in Bob Lazar, but I think that there is nothing in a story that necessitates that it's false. And don't think that there's I don't think that there's anything like yeah, sure, there's nothing he can technically prove. Um because I mean his story does end up being like one of those like convenient enough to not have to have proof, because of the situation. But other than that,
You're telling me that in his story he's made enough excuses to justify him not actually having credible evidence of what he's claiming?
I mean, yeah, I mean, you can't ignore that. Like that is something that you have to. But the problem is like you also have to think about it on his point. Like, what else was he supposed to say? There really wasn't anything else that he could do besides what he already did. And when you think about like why he would come out, well, yeah, like come out because you don't want to get killed by the government, and you want to make sure that if you are killed, then like the government's held liable because the only person that would actually want you killed or want you like to go missing would be the government. You're the one over here saying aliens are real. You're one of the like only people to come out and like publicly announce that you worked on alien stuff. And so and yeah, sure, you could lie about that stuff, but one, I don't see why you don't want to be like, the thing is people think that, oh, like being famous would be cool. Being famous is not something you want to be. Like you want to be successful, yeah. You want to be known, probably. Uh, you want to be inspirational, maybe. But being famous is not something you want to be, because just being known by a lot of just a lot of people, can make you a target just because you're big. Um, and especially when you're someone as controversial as the person who basically said that aliens were real.
And there's plenty of people that said aliens are real, and But they were usually seen as lunatics.
Yeah, but the thing is that their stories never really added up, though. Like, you, yeah, sure, his story it does keep just a tiny bit too much into the well isn't that isn't that a coincidence, you know, area, just a little bit.
You don't say.
But I still think that it's solid enough to not needlessly doubt, you know. I think if there is reason to believe that the government, which I mean, the thing is that the government hiding technology from us that they don't want us to know, because, or like not even just us, just like probably other countries. That's what they're hiding it from. They're hiding it from other countries to make sure that they don't know what we have. Um I mean, that's what happens, you know?
Yeah, but do you think the government should have the right to do that?
I mean, like, no. I think that the best way for humanity to evolve as a species would be to keep everything on open market. And yeah, sure, a lot of things can, the thing is, like, keeping things in open market makes things extremely fast paced in the way that they proceed, but that's not always a bad thing, because sometimes you don't want things to be peeled off like a band-aid, because some things just need to, like, they can't just trickle in, because when you let things trickle in, you let people grab too much power. um if you don't let everyone have access to a very, very powerful thing, if you only let a few people solely have access to this very, very influential thing, then eventually it gets to the point where you have one part of society that controls a very sizable resource that the other
So,
half doesn't.
so in this case, it would be alien technology.
Yeah, it'd be alien technology.
Yeah, I mean, but there's always that kind of danger factor of introducing stupid humans to new technology, new flashy toys. Because as when we exponentially curve in technology, we tend to have a trend of nearly blowing ourselves off the planet. So it's like when
You
weapons
say
technology.
trend, but we've technically only had that scare once.
Eh,
So,
okay, it depends on how you look at it. I mean, like, scare as in, like, okay, wiping us off the planet, yes, I guess you can say we've only gotten close to that once. But we've had some pretty fucking close calls when it comes to, like, just bloody battles and
I mean,
a bunch of
yeah,
people dying. I mean,
there's always gonna be a large risk for war,
especially
as
when things evolve fast like that.
well. I mean, the thing is that you got to remember that every single country acts self-interested. The reason why China is acting the way that it is right now is because it doesn't want to be fucked over like it was in the Second World War. In the Second World War, China was severely fucked over. Like, Japan just took a lot of its land, and, well, now it has it back. But the thing is that China does not want to fall behind. China does not want to be the one that gets taken advantage of. That's why it's preemptively trying to be this big superpower. So it can't ever, like, it can't get hurt no more. You know, it 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 gone through too many dudes. You
so
know,
so it's Taylor Swifted pretty much.
exactly. China is Taylor Swift. Anyways,
What? Okay. I don't know how we went from Bob Lazar to fucking China's Taylor Swift, but
well, basically, what we're talking about is how the alien technology would be very strong, um, and a lot of countries would probably, like, countries are going to use it in whatever way they think is going to best defend themselves. they want to prolong themselves. They're every single country is just self-interested, and that's how you have to view them. They're not trying to. The reason why Russia tries to mess with the U.S. is because they're afraid of the U.S. Like the U.S. is very, very strong and poses a very big threat to Russia. I mean, we have nukes. They have like the Cold War hasn't ended. You know, there's still tensions. I mean, and our army is like hella huge. Our army is like the biggest army in the world. Like there is
Not to
reason.
flex or anything.
Yeah, I mean like hell. And that's another reason why aliens might travel to the United States instead of other countries. Because where else do you feel the safest besides the most like heavy militarized continent in the world? If we get invaded by other aliens, the safest place to be is in the United States. Because the United States.
Because Trump is building a wall.
Exactly. It's because the wall is going to extend across all the galaxy.
Don't be unrealistic. We can't cover the whole galaxy. It'd just be the solar system. No, you're calling back to a conversation that we had before the podcast, but I'm telling you, I don't understand why, like, even in movies, aliens always pick America to fucking attack. And it makes me so mad. I'm like, why don't they go abduct cows in fucking India?
Because America's fucking lit, dude. It has
aliens
everything.
Don't know that. How are aliens gonna
why would aliens come here not knowing that? You don't think that we'd be able to understand exactly which places are the hottest places to go to on another alien planet if we eventually got to the point where we'd be able to like actually navigate alien planets?
I think you're looking too much into it.
I don't think I am. I think that this is a perfectly logical like time lapse of how technology might progress. And I can guarantee you if aliens have been to planet Earth before, and I mean like sorry I'm sounding like a little conspiracy nut here, but I mean
You are a nut.
I kind of feel like they have been. Like I want to believe that they have been.
Have been what?
Like been well, I want to believe that aliens are real. I'll get that out there. Like I want to believe that that's real.
Yeah, but now you got a bias, bro.
I do have a bias. I'm gonna be completely honest, but thing is that you also can't ignore the facts that are out there, right? You know, there's a lot of fishy stuff out there that points to aliens. You know, there's a lot of like alien design that keeps reoccurring, like that Bob Lazar stuff. Like he talked the way that he talked about those alien spaceships. I mean, that's pretty much how they depict the alien spaceships. Like even the picture of I think it's like the Virgin Mary. There's like a little spaceship on up in the top corner, like a little spaceship. Like how every single spaceship has ever been depicted, right? Like a
Are you
disc.
talking about like the
The
typical
disc with the
frisbee
little
looking?
with the little glass pod on top. For some reason, that's always the depiction of a flying saucer.
Why do you think it's glass?
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be glass. Like, well, I don't even think it's clear. I think that it being clear is something that cartoonists use so that way they could animate people inside. But I think that it definitely had a different color on top, probably a way so that way they can navigate.
I'll tell you why. Because people they see how something was, depicted before, and then they just keep going off of that, and they just play off of it down the line. I mean, I feel like you're looking into it too much.
I feel like well, do you know about squaring the circle?
I don't know what that means.
So basically, you know how, so it's sort of like crop circles, right? You know how like people think that crop circles are like from aliens stuff, right? Well, there is this thing that is seen all over the world, which is this act called circling, squaring the circle, and it's something that ancient civilizations used to do, and ancient all of ancient civilizations heavily studied the stars, heavily studied the stars. Like why? Why were the pyramids made? Like why do they all point to true north? Which is something that you can only know if your society is well versed in astrology. Like how do you know that?
You're just really good at guessing. I don't know,
like
bro.
and yeah, sure, I have a bias, but that's why I have a bias, because there's a lot of evidence to support that this might be a thing, and I think that it's cooler to live a life where I believe that it's true. So
I mean, like, but what what do you think is better? Do you think it's better that there's another advanced civilization, or do you think it'd be cooler for us to be like the top dogs when it comes to life forms in the universe?
I think that if there is another intelligent civilization out there, that there's probably going to be benefits that they have that are they might have vastly superior technology than ours, but I think that there might be like something that is beneficial from the human race that, isn't seen within their race. Maybe
Maybe they don't know what a SoundCloud rapper is, and we can
yeah.
introduce that to them.
Yeah, maybe they've never sent a tweet before in their lives.
Yeah,
And
Earth has a lot of culture that we can provide.
yeah, exactly. um
I don't know, bro. I struggle to believe it. I want to, but I'm more of a skeptic. I'm a real skeptic because I want to believe that there's aliens out there, and I know I have to be extra skeptical of what I like see because otherwise my bias will take over.
well, I mean, you also have to realize that, I mean, the universe is you also this argument is always used. I think that this argument is also an argument that can be used to disprove it as well, which is the universe is so big, how can there not be like aliens? Uh, why? How can there not be other aliens out there? But then I also think about like, well, if uh, if the universe is really big, the chances of uh, like, there's probably a chance for something to happen, right? Like, let's say you have a bag of marbles, and you have one red marble in there and 9 blue marbles. Now, your chances to get the one red marble is 1 in 10. But imagine if you just put a bunch of green, orange, purple, white, brown, indigo marbles into that bag.
I don't think you covered all your race.
Anyways, you you hella decrease your chances of getting uh a red, right? Think about it this way, right?
Okay, red.
Think about how crazy and unique every single planet could be, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because technically, when you think about organic life forms, they could only exist on a planet like this, right? And so, if you think about life and like how strange it is, you can also think about like, well, maybe there's some like other like stranger things that could happen out there. Like maybe there's planets out there that just, I mean, if you look at any other planet, they are nowhere like less strange than Earth is. Like yeah, sure, Earth has like, humans, life forms, like all this like all these different climates, but I mean fucking Jupiter, like Neptune,
What about Venus? Oh wait,
the
is doesn't one of fucking the planet? It's like the moons of Jupiter or something. Moon and Neptune. think it's Titan or something like that. No, not Titan. That's the one in fucking Avengers. It's it's one that they confirmed that has like liquid oceans on there.
Oh yeah. I
Do
mean, it's.
you know which one that was?
I think the our best bet for an extraterrestrial like existence is probably just gonna be Mars. Um,
Nah, dude, it's gonna be one of those fucking moons that we hardly think about. I'm telling you, bro.
I don't know. I mean, we can get water. Water's easy. I think I think people were just like worried that we weren't gonna be able to get water, but I, I think I think we pretty much understand like how to
Oh,
get
so
water
you're talking
now.
about like moving to Mars?
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Um.
no.
Yeah.
Let's not move to Mars.
Well,
It's so boring.
Mars is cool.
What's so cool about Mars?
It's like the next step of. And
No, it's like a failed Earth.
well, like now we're gonna go rebuild it.
Like like we were the really good child. Mars was like the fucking rough child that started smoking at the age of 12 and then
Well now we're gonna go have a sit down with Mars. We're gonna be like, hey, dude, we love you. Okay, we love you, Mars. Get better, Mars. Okay, we're gonna help you. We're gonna go to the gym tomorrow, Mars. All right, I'm gonna cook you breakfast, man. You're gonna get them gains,
okay,
bro.
okay, this is sounding a little homosexual. I don't I know people are gonna ship fucking Earth with Mars. The internet is a stupid place.
Internet.
Remember when they started doing made the Earth into an anime girl?
Oh, they still do that.
Yeah. And then they did it with a black hole. A picture of the black hole.
Oh no. Oh
Yes.
no.
No, no, no. But I want to talk about Area 51 for one bit. Hold up.
All right.
All right. Do you think the people have a right to storm Area 51 and take the secrets of the government?
Uh,
Do you think it's our right?
I think that it's our right to know um what they're keeping from us. Um, I don't think that like the government should really like. I don't like militaristic government. I don't like the way that the United States handles its military. I think the problem is when we first got introduced to World War I, where we really started to kick off as like this militarized empire rather than just focus. Because like before World War I, we just pretty much stayed to ourselves, and we were fucking killing it, dude. Uh, like yeah, we had the Great Depression, and um,
But that was after
that was after World War I.
imperialism.
Yeah. So I mean, like, but we were doing fine. I mean, we had just gotten rid of slavery.
No, it was yeah, it was right around coming out of World War I and into World War after World War II especially. That's when we started getting involved with other people's shit.
Yeah. So it's all about like America being Big Brother is where it started thinking that like, oh, it has to keep it because it took that title. It is now being like kind of sought after as like the person to take down. I mean, no one thinks of like Italy and is like, oh, go fuck up Italy, you know?
Italy's got some big guns. No,
like
you think of Linguini.
like but the United States, because it's kind of like done, like said like, hey, I'm the fucking United States. Like you're gonna like pay attention to, like, everyone just wants to, everyone revolves around what the United States does. That's a good thing, and that's a bad thing.
So with this was just a really long-winded way of saying that since America thinks it has to always have the biggest guns, that they're keeping the alien shit under wrap because they are trying to militaristically benefit off of it.
Well, yeah, because
It's just trying to figure out how to make bigger and better weapons with alien technology.
yeah, well, like the thing is that being this being the center of the spotlight is such a benefit to the United States.
Spotlight.
The the pinnacle of the ambulance.
What?
um,
You lost me.
the United States wants to be known because it helps it helps stimulate their economy because everyone wants to deal with the United States. Um, we we make a lot of like we don't match with China in terms of like production. China, like, you know, they beat us a lot on tech. Of course, a lot of their tech is stolen. Fuck Huawei.
Wawa.
By the way, if you're one of those tech nerds who fucking supported Huawei because, oh my god, their stuff was good and it was cheap, you're a piece of shit who doesn't value like integrity of a market.
Okay. It's a bit much, don't you think?
Nah, dude, Huawei's a shit. Like, how are you gonna tell me that you're gonna let a company steal assets from another company to start off and make money off of that, and be backed by the fucking Chinese government that you know is corrupt, and then be like, oh well, like they produce like cheaper products because they basically use slave labor, and and you know they're cheaper, though, right? And like they're fast, right? But I mean, we're not gonna try to move any production to the United States. Nah, dude. Why would we ever do that? Why would we ever want to, you know, get away from? Oh, there's some spicy memes happening outside my apartment right now. Uh, I feel so warm and delighted by my neighbors. It is very late right now, and I don't understand why they would be up and about talking that loudly. We have other neighbors. You know, you have to be respectable towards your other neighbors.
I climbed on your neighbor's balcony today.
Yeah, that happened.
I couldn't even get into your apartment.
So this morning,
We
we woke up this morning at like 5:30, and we had to go drop off Val Cat Belly to her job, and it was really early in the morning, so I didn't know where my keys were, and I did not feel like looking for them. And so we just left the apartment with Cameron's car, and so Val ended up locking the apartment with her keys. So we go drop off Val at the apartment. And
Jason forgets to get the keys from
so
this person.
So we go drop off Val at her job, and I forget to grab the key from her. Because I forget that she's the one that locked it. Because I'm not used to leaving the house without my keys. Because I usually don't do that. Because I usually don't have another person who like drives. So having Cameron who drove us there was
Chauffeured.
exactly. Anyways, so we get to the apartment and he's like, okay, well I'm like, well, I guess we have to go back to HEB. And Cameron's like, wait, I got an idea. So he busts out the his like lock picking kit, and I make the observation that, hey, you know, I know when I first moved in here, you were talking about how if you ever wanted to, you would be able to break into my apartment by jumping into the balcony area, because it's kind of in an area where you can like grab onto, because it's low enough to like
It's
reach.
called parkour, my friend.
Yeah, it's low enough to reach from like the first level. So
No, I think you're mistaken. It's pretty high up there. I have to like wall run.
yeah, it's pretty close to the ground. So he just grabs on, and he climbs, he pulls himself up,
With my bulging muscles.
and he ends up finding out that that my screen door is locked and that he can't get through any of my windows either. So good news for me, no one has been able to break into my house yet. Bad news for us, Cameron had to get down from the balcony without like actually walking inside, or like walking downstairs. So
and then we had to go back to the store to get the keys.
so we had to go back to the store and get the keys. He also
And that-
was gonna try to lock pick the door, but he failed at doing that.
Hey, you didn't have to add that detail.
And
But,
so we go back to the store, pick up the keys, come back home,
And that's why I'm eating all your sunflower seeds.
and that is exactly why he's eating flower seed.
Because you made me go to the store twice.
Yeah. I did pay him back in gas money though.
Yeah, he did.
So
I have been compensated.
that was one compensation
He is a man of integrity.
I attempted to do.
So. These are really good seeds, bro. I don't know. I like the salted ones better.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I didn't buy them, so
Who bought them?
Vince.
Oh, damn.
What time is it?
Fucking 11:20.
How long have we been doing?
About 55 minutes.
Is there anything else?
Will you go raid Area 51?
Probably not. Yeah, I mean, like, I got shit to do, you know?
Do you think the government will be able to justify itself if it did militaristic action towards the people that did show up? Maybe not full on, like, fucking massacring people, but just like rubber bullets and tear gas. And
I mean, the thing is that they have a lot of more equipment. The thing is that I feel like people forget how much technology is able to pacify targets, like, without much force. I mean, the fucking thing that like just shot a wave at you that made you like move out of the way came out like what 10 years ago, like more than that.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
There's this one pacify like machine. It's like mounted on a truck, and you basically aim it at people, and it sends this wave at you, and it makes you feel so incredibly uncomfortable that you have to move.
So it's a sound wave?
It's not a sound wave. I forget what it is.
I think
Try
it was
looking it up.
I think it was a really low frequency sound wave. Let me check.
Probably. Yeah, that one. That the VMADS.
I think we get the gist of it.
Yeah, so basically the way that the machine works is that it just points a beam at you, and you get so uncomfortable that
Yeah, so pretty much there's a lot of non-lethal ways to disperse of a crowd.
yeah.
And you think that's like if that a raid on Area 51 was to actually happen, that's how they would go about it?
Well, yeah, I mean, like, that's probably the easiest way you could go about it. Like, I mean, I mean, yeah, the internet's powerful and it can get a lot of people together, but I mean, it's a bunch of nerds going up against the military.
We're not nerds. I am a fine young gentleman. Nerd. Anyways, I think it's time. I'm tired. I want to go. So, end it.
Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you like this podcast by Highly Caffeinated. I have been your host, Jason Mortensen, joined by my co-host and editor, Cameron.
Yeah.
We will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.